Okay, good morning. Welcome to
KidMath84.
KidMath84. So we have to do 2 this morning to catch up because we forgot to do 1 yesterday. So we've been studying these quadratic inequalities, and here's a very challenging one. It looks the same as all the rest of them.
Yeah.
But here we have x squared plus x is less than minus 7. So in the interest of speed, I'll write, you tell me what to do. How would you solve this?
Well, first we'll do x squared plus x plus 7 is less than 0.
X squared plus x plus 7 is less than 0. All we did was add 7 to both sides, and that will preserve the inequality, right?
Yes.
So now we're going to try to understand this quadratic expression. And we always like having inequalities with 0 on one side because those are easier to deal with.
Well,
okay.
How is this going to factor?
Alright, so one thing we'd like to try to do is factor this.
But it's going to be a little hard because the product of the roots is 7.
Yeah.
And the sum is 1. Is negative 1.
The sum would have to be negative 1. So we don't have a lot of choices. So playing around with this even quickly, like you're doing,
yeah.
This doesn't look like it's going to factor. So what are some other options we have?
Well, we have the quadratic formula.
Yeah, luckily we know how to find roots of this. X squared plus x plus 7 equals 0. We can use the quadratic formula, which says the roots are negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. Sorry, I'm writing sloppy, over 2a. Okay? So
A is 1 here.
A is 1.
B is also 1.
B equals 1.
And C is 7.
C equals 7. Okay.
So you have minus 1.
Minus 1.
Plus or minus.
Plus or minus.
The square root of 1.
Square root of 1.
Minus 28.
Minus 28.
Over 2.
All over 2. Okay.
So you have minus 1 plus or minus the square root of negative 27 over 2.
Over 2.
Which is going to get into i's.
Okay. Both of these roots are imaginary, right? Because
Yes.
we have the square root of minus 27. What does that mean, that both of the roots are imaginary?
Well, it means that if you look on the real plane, there's 2 choices you can have for imaginary roots. You never touch the x-axis this way.
Whoa, hold on.
Oops, that's a little tilty.
Yeah, that's a little tilty of a parabola. Okay, we know we have a parabola, so either is going to be always above the axis. Now I can touch, you seem to be afraid to have it touch the y-axis.
You can touch the y-axis.
The y-axis is when x equals 0. We can certainly put x equals 0 into this expression, right?
And you can have this.
Or it might be always below, It might be always above or always below. We're not sure which one, okay? So we talked in the last video in KidMath83 about the important points to have to check are the zeros. Okay, so what are the important points on the number line we have to check here?
Well, we're looking at an integer number line, but we don't have imaginary numbers on it.
Here we're looking at a real number line that doesn't have any imaginary numbers.
So what
are the important points?
There's none.
There's none. This expression is either always positive or always negative. Okay? So what number, we can pick any number we want. What number would you like to pick?
Let's pick 0.
Let's pick 0. Very easy to evaluate. So what is this at 0?
It's positive.
It's positive. So what does that mean about this expression, x squared plus x plus 7?
Always positive.
So when is it less than 0?
It's never less than 0.
This one is never less than 0. X squared plus x is less than minus 7 has no real solutions. Okay. So there we go. This expression, that's why this was kind of a trick, I said in the beginning. This has no real solutions. But we find that out the exact same way as we did before. We tried to factor it, and it didn't really factor. The reason we're factoring is we're trying to find the points where it's 0. But we know how to find where the points where it's 0. We use the quadratic formula in a jam.
Yeah.
We found the zeros were imaginary. So that meant we could check any number we wanted, because this expression was either always going to be positive or always negative. So the only possible answer was this is always true, or
It's never true.
It's never true.
And it's never true.
It turns out it's never true. Okay? For real numbers. Alright, good job this morning, huh? Got a lot of good stuff today on these quadratic inequalities.